Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations. Check it out, man. I've had this scan tool here. This is the Launch X431 Pro 3S Plus version 2. I've had this thing for 23 months. It's coming up on renewal next month, and I figured it was a good time to make a follow-up video, kind of a is it worth it video. And I'm going to tell you here while we wait for this thing to power up, the answer to that question is 100% yes. They have done so much to this tool in the last 2 years, it almost in many ways feels like a totally different tool. When I first bought it, it had only been on the market a few months, and spec-wise, it looked great, but you just never know. What I can say is that spec-wise, this tool is still as snappy, as fast as you would want it to be, and that's pretty awesome. It's an Android, I think it's an Android 10. It might be an Android 11 at this point, I'm not sure. But it has performed really well. And so I'm going to get into some of the features and functions with you, some of the new stuff. You know, I've made 3 videos on this already, but there's a lot of new stuff that has happened, especially on the software side of things, and I want to show you that. Of course, you do have the ability to add in anything you want to, so I have all data here, eBay Motors, wheel size calculator, some other stuff in here. Those are always available to you, but the main program itself has been updated. X431 Pro 3S Plus, and it was now, I think when we got it, it was like version 6 point something. Now it's 7.00.006, and holy cow, there are a lot of changes. So let me go to the mall first. So a lot of things that used to be an extra fee are now not an extra fee, and I think that's probably the coolest part about it. If you look at all the brands and all these features that they're saying are an upsell, hold on one second here, let me get this camera. If you're looking for an upsell, Tesla is the only one that I see that is actually like a genuine something you might want to pay extra for if you're working on those kind of things. But the rest of these are European and Asian market stuff. So rain and light sensor would be the only other product that would be something you would want to buy. Although again, what's happened here is most of the time when we do this, the next update, half this stuff ends up being free. So it wouldn't surprise me if Tesla didn't end up being part of the package later on down the road. So that's kind of cool. As far as special functions, service functions and stuff, there was somebody who was asking how many are there, and I was like, geez, I don't know, I never really counted, and I'm not going to for you right now, but I will roll through the screen here and show you. I mean, battery match and brake reset. I actually just took a class on battery matching and realized why it was important to do that. High voltage battery work, immobilizer programming, injector coating. I mean, you name it, it's available. And sunroof reset, which that used to be an optional thing. That was something you paid extra for. Now it's good. Transport mode. I mean, there's a lot going on here. So there you go with that. For those of you who want to know, the biggest change, and I'm going to get right to it here. Now, ADAS coverage, other modules. They do have some stuff you can buy. You can buy a borescope that adds onto this. You can buy battery immobilizer tester and a battery thing for it. I don't know if you can get the scope module. I know that Launch now makes a scope module. I'd love them to make it available for this, but I'm not sure. Of course, we have regular, like, important everyday functions, browser functions, calculator functions, recording stuff. There's a full manual, like a color, beautiful manual with videos, camera, gallery. So let's go to the camera. I'll show you. It does have forward and rear-facing camera. So here's the forward-facing camera. Let's see, where's the little switcheroo there? I think it's hidden. Yeah, there we go. And there we are. One thing I do want to point out, along here on the top, you can see it's a little bit blurry. Check it out. I put a screen protector on there, and it's right over the top of the lens, so that's my bad. Still, though, I don't do a lot of this type of filming. But when it comes to forward-facing, I use this as an inspection tablet as well. So I have software on here that allows me to do a walk around the cars, take photographs. I can directly email the customer from this and do live emails back and forth with them. So nice to be able to take pictures of body damage, of work that needs to be done, that sort of thing. And it's a good crisp, especially in good lighting, it's a good crisp. And then we do have a Gmail account here. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. All right, so let's go into diagnose. I want to show you what's new here. And I'm hooked up to a Volvo right now. And we'll go into Volvo here, and it's going to just tell us, hey, look, they've added a bunch. This new software was just installed earlier this week. Polestar Diagnostics. So it does include, I'll go all the way down. I mean, there's just so much going on here, but it does include Polestar 2, which I mean just got released like a minute, or not a minute, but a month or two ago. Polestar 2, adaptability, and all the rest. And there's some stuff in here. And of course, there's always going to be warnings saying, hey, not everything works all the time. That is why, I mean, these update, it seems like every week I've got 20 updates. So they're definitely keeping on top of this even after this being on the market for 2 years. Biggest software change came a little bit earlier on, and I think it was maybe 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago now. They added a more conventional layout, like TIS and like Vita. They both have a layout very similar to this. Instead of listing all your modules in a row, they have a diagnostic flow chart of how the can operates. And what's going on here is it's going through and detecting the car. And I can hear some of the blend doors actuating, and I hear the ABS working here. So it's doing some stuff here, right? And it just identifies the car. And here we go. This is what I wanted to share with y'all. So we have topology, and it's showing us the body, the power, the security, the entertainment, right? And I can go through and do a system scan, and what it's going to do here is look at each one of these. It's not reading the codes in this. This is just saying equipped or not equipped, right? And it doesn't take very long. So if it's blue, it is scanned and equipped, and if it's white, it's not scanned, and if it's gray, it's not equipped. And so that's pretty cool. And then once we have the list of the ones that our car has, we can then go into them and read codes and see what's going on. And then we'll have scanned, and if it's clean, it'll turn green. And if it's got some codes or something that it doesn't like, well, then it goes to abnormal, and that lets us look even deeper. And you can see as I'm talking here, this is going pretty quick. This is in real time. I'd say it takes about 1 minute and 20 seconds on this car. Of course, some cars have less computers. Some cars have more computers. That's not a big deal. But yeah, look at this thing. It's just rolling through it. Steering angle sensor. And there we go. All right, so let's go into CEM because we are having some issues here. We'll take a look. And we're going to read the fault code. A lot of this is just like the old days, right? And then look at all these codes we have. So, and I think I've showed this in another video, but I want to go through it even more. Communication issues, audio miss. Look, there's a lot going on here. Steering wheel. Okay, so I do have a seat heater that doesn't work on this car. How do I start working on what am I going to do to fix that? Hit code search, goes out on the internet. You see how snappy this is? Like this is, it just blasts right out here, right? And then we go in here, and here we are, how to do the CEM model, how to do this, how to do that. And so here's Robert DIY. This guy's, I love this guy. He's been around a while. Go right out to YouTube. And I'm going to keep the mute on just because I don't want copyright violations. But I mean, you're on YouTube and you can look this stuff up. I don't want to, I'll give him a free plug, but I don't want to violate his copyright, And then we have codes. You can read up on it. We have photos. So all this stuff. I mean, it's so quick. It's so quick how this thing loads. Whatever, I think it's like an 8-core processor. It seems to me that it's for at least the last 23 months, it's been very future-proof, right? Okay, so I could write a report on that. I press that. I get a report that's kind of nice looking, and it can get sent off to the customer, and I can add information on that. I can say, hey, this is pre-repairs. We're looking at steering wheel module that needs some work, right? All right, though I'm not going to reset it because I want you to see what's going on here. And now we have, hey, CEM is abnormal, has 7 codes in it. Right, and there's other stuff. ABS is good. We're going to look at that. But, we can look at other stuff. Let's look directly at, I don't know. Let's see, ECM. We'll look directly at the main computer here for a second, which also has codes. These things, it's a Volvo. They're always going to have codes. I'm not sure what, but we'll find out here in a second. And you can see the speed at which this thing runs through codes is impressive. So I have an Autel 908DS, I think it is, Android 4.4. Man, I don't like it. It was a great tool for its time, but it is so slow now, it gives me headaches. It's also a little bit buggy lately, and then I don't know if that just needs another update or whatnot. The biggest disappointment of my life is the Snap-on Zeus. I never paid so much for such garbage. So, I mean, it's just terrible, just terrible. All right, so communication problems, probably low voltage at that point. evap system codes, brakes pedal sensor. That's a bit sketchy, but it's letting us know, hey, maybe we need to check that. And then turbo, right? So again, I'm going to back out of here. Tons of special functions, right? Do I want to do intake cam control, throttle unit, fuel tank? And depending on the system, some of these, I think in a previous video I showed you how to reset and recalibrate windows in this thing. I mean, there's just so much you can do. All right, so that's the new system, and I just love it. I really feel like, right, and it has a diagnostic plan here, and it's like, what are we going to do here? I like that. And then if you like the older way, which, again, I kind of prefer this, you can go back into system list, press that, and now we're looking at the older version. So they didn't get rid of it. Depending on your taste, maybe you're used to older scan tools that go by this style. So I get it, and again, we can go in there. Steering angle sensor, it says not equipped. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there, I guess. We'll end that. Right, and it's telling us to bail out. So we're out of it. Just, I don't know. It's not the longest video I'm going to make, but you're going to invest, these things, they're not cheap. They're certainly cheaper than a Snap-on or a Matco or a Mac or a Cornwell tool, but you're getting a value for your money, if I may be so bold. One last thing I want to talk to you about is software updates here. Tons of updates, but when we're talking about value, we go to renewals here. I want you to see this, and this these prices here, a lot of people commented on my last video, they're like, wow, that's a lot per year. I have found, and because I've been pricing, hey, I need to renew this thing, that if you go online and look at websites, they are more than happy to sell these at a discount. Even where I bought this from, I was able to get a better deal than what's listed here. So that's something for you to think about. Now we do have our additional fees for single use, but so they have a card, and all you're going to do there is you're going to buy the card and then renew it through there. Prices are changing so much lately, it's hard to say exactly what you'll pay, but it looks to me like less than $400 for 2 years is what I'm going to end up paying for renewals, and that is a heck of a bargain there. So pretty cool. Now you do have intelligent diagnose and remote diagnose. I've never tried those, but I'm very familiar with it. Opus uses that type of system where you can press a button and literally have a tech, halfway across the world sit there looking at the same stuff you're looking at and help you with diagnostics. So these are experts that just get paid to do that sort of stuff. I think that's pretty darn cool. User info, that's your shop information. Tire pressure monitor, that kind of speaks for itself. History we can go into. I'll go back into other modules and see. I think that's pretty much everything. You have your gallery you can look at, your camera, and take a look at videos and pictures you've taken. This does record video as well. So if I wanted to explain to a customer where the noise is coming from, I could have a tech, get in the car and ride, and we could point at the, the part that's making a squeak or whatever. So it's pretty cool. I guess that'll do it. It's the X431 Pro 3S Plus. And after 23 months, I'll tell you what, I'm not disappointed at all. Certainly blows the Zeus out of the water. Certainly is a worthy successor to the Autel that we used for years here at the shop. And I'm sure we'll have it around for a long time. If you have any questions, go ahead. Feel free to comment in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. I know a lot about this tool after having hung out with it for 2 years, but I certainly don't know everything. When you ask me how many updates does it have, like I don't know, man. That's something I don't really pay attention to other than it's impressive. Till next time, my friends, take care.